It's almost time. What are we packing? Let's pack this for the social event. Let's pack this for the plenary. We'll probably need this jacket, maybe another jacket. What's the time? My goodness, there's no time. If it gets cooler, this, then this. And what's the number? It's time for the last show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of IATEFL Live. And not just any episode. This is our final show before the big one, the IATEFL Conference in Edinburgh. That's right, the countdown is officially on. And whether it's your very first IATEFL Conference or your 15th, today's show is all about you and helping you make the absolute most of it. So in this episode, we'll be sharing practical tips, personal stories, behind the scenes, and, just some little bits and bobs to plan your schedule and, of course, to help you navigate the venue, meet new people, and feel truly inspired. Now, as you probably suspect, I am not alone in this show because I'm never alone in this show. First things first, let's welcome our guest for the day. We have got some truly, let's say, seasoned delegates in today's episode. And we're starting with our IATEFL president, Alexandra Popovsky. Alex, hello and welcome.
Hi, Georgia. Good to be here in IATEFL Live and looking forward to this last IATEFL Live before our annual conference and looking forward to the conference as well.
Alex, before I invite everybody else, what is one adjective about the upcoming IATEFL conference?
Can I use a noun, not an adjective? Oh. Is that okay? Well, for me, it's friendship.
Amazing. Now, let's welcome to the show our IATEFL Vice President, Chris Graham. Hello, Chris.
Hello, how are you, Georgia?
I'm very, very excited. Chris, that's the same question for you as well. What is one adjective of how you're feeling? Let me change the question about the upcoming IATEFL conference.
At the moment, I'm feeling energized.
Oh, very nice.
How long it will last for, I don't know, but that's the one for now.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. And of course, we have got our Chief Executive, John Barton. Hello, John.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. Chris is feeling energized. That's not going to last, is it? Let's face it.
No. John, my question to you is, can you give us one word, it can be either an adjective or a noun, of what the IATEFL conference is looking like right now?
What it's looking like now? I'm going to use the word transportation at this point because we were up early this morning packing a lorry, which is currently driving up to Scotland. And so all of our equipment is in transit and I'll be relieved when it gets there safely. So our equipment is doing currently what we're all going to be doing in the near future, traveling to Edinburgh.
Absolutely. And of course, I cannot have an IATEFL live show without my incredible IATEFL moderator, Nikki. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, Georgia. Hello, John, Alex, and Chris. Do you know what? This is the last time that I'll see you guys online before seeing you face to face.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see you, particularly as you and Georgia have agreed to go swimming every day in Edinburgh, which is very exciting.
Did we though, John?
Yeah.
I seem to remember it.
Well, I offered to video it. I said I'll pay for an Uber to get you, and I'll video it, and I'll get you viral by lunchtime. So that's fine.
No, it'd be lovely to see everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody swimming or everybody full stop?
Let's just stop with the just lovely to see everybody.
Amazing. So just to let everybody know, watching us from home, in today's show, we have got different categories. And in each of these categories, our season delegates will be describing and will be giving tips on how you can get the most out of this conference. So first things first, let's go to prep and packing. Okay, so question number one is, of course, what is one of the most essential items that you would advise people to have with them? Alex, what do you think?
Ooh, a really, really good, comfortable pair of shoes, sneakers, or whatever your choice is. But for me, it's a pair of white sneakers so that I can run around the venue all day. And I think that's, for me, is essential. Because if I cannot walk around the venue, then I cannot even be there. Because, there are a lot of sessions. So we need to move from one room to the other. We have other events as well. So it's basically walking around the venue for about 12 hours, maybe on average, right? Every single day. So a good pair of shoes, comfortable, something that is also, something that you can wear in both rainy weather and not rainy weather, like maybe sunny in Edinburgh, because that's the weather forecast for next week, and so fingers crossed that we actually get some sun. So yeah, get some really, really comfortable shoes. That would be my first advice.
Alex, now that you mentioned the sun, Chris, with regards to the weather, what do you think someone should pack with them to get ready?
Well, as someone who lives a lot of his life in Scotland, the weather is unpredictable. And what a lot of people don't realise is Edinburgh is actually on the coast. We've already talked about you going swimming every morning, Georgia. So because of that, it does change quickly. So I think probably layers would be the thing. I mean, I've been to the venue once, but it was empty. There was nothing going on. But I suspect it might be quite warm inside when, there's all of us packed in there. So you're going to be warm inside, but it might hit you quite cold outside. And, we're going to be there for 5 days. Most people are there for 4 or 5 days. It's very unusual to have 5 days in Scotland when it doesn't rain at least once. So layers and something that will keep you dry. But it's not going to be very cold, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Nikki will be flying to Edinburgh. And for people flying to the venue, what would you recommend that they put in their suitcases?
I think there's 2 things for the conference that I always have in my bag, and that one is a water bottle, because we are running around, you're out of your room all day, and so it is good to have that. I'm sure there are stations at the conference venue that you can top up your water, and also phone charger, because I kind of use my phone quite a lot to write down things that I'm hearing or, recording things. And so my phone runs out of battery very quickly. So water bottle and phone charger are the 2 things that I definitely have to have in my bag.
Mm-hmm. And can I just add, Georgia, our IATEFL water bottle. Okay, so if you have it from last year, awesome. But if you don't have one, then you can get it at the conference venue from the registration desk.
Ah, that's very good. And of course, I cannot show it now because Teddy is packed, but we have got our IATEFL Teddy. That is my number one thing packed in my bags. Now, John, as our chief executive, what would you say we should pack?
Well, I had a long list here, and I'm afraid we have shown that the experienced guests that you have actually, they just said it all. I had comfortable shoes, phone charger, water bottle, and then maybe an umbrella ? So it's covered everything from me. I would just add, with the phone charger, don't forget, if you have one of those plug adapters. If you don't have one, we will have them for sale, but if you bring one of those with you, that's always useful in your accommodation and also in just charging your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got nothing else.
I do have one question though when it comes to packing, because in IATEFL we usually have one of the conference bags. And this conference tote bag is one of the most important things, because we all come with our personal bags, our personal items, but at the end of the day, we keep bringing our conference bag. What's one item that should definitely be there?
In your conference bag, do you mean?
Yes.
In your delegate bag? The program, I would say, the most important thing, so you can navigate around it. I think that, we're always very sensitive in terms of sustainability about things like the conference bag. So one of the things, on a slightly different angle, I would always say is take your delegate bag home and use it afterwards. Make sure you can reuse it. Personally, this is very off topic, but it is one of the best places to store vegetables, potatoes, and things like that in a delegate bag. It's
onions, yeah.
But it's essential whilst you're there. Obviously, you may be picking up really interesting and useful information from some of our fantastic exhibitors. You'll have your program, you can put your water bottle in there. So it's a really useful thing at the venue, but then take it home and reuse it, we would always encourage.
Amazing. And
vegetables to the conference. That's not necessary. Unless you really want to. Security might not like that.
Very true.
now, Panis from the comments is saying one white or black pair of sneakers that matches all your outfits, which is, as we mentioned earlier, a fantastic tip, because yes, whether you're going out in the morning or in the evening, you will need this.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, let's go to the next category, which is all about the arrival and registration tips. So, Alex, when it comes to the arrival, we have seen a lot of people coming in. They're a little bit stressed out about their arrival. What's one thing that you would tell our delegates?
Well, not to stress at all, because there will be a lot of volunteers to support them and help them with the registration, to pick up, their badges, the program, if they're using a printed one, and everything else. So there's always someone there who can help them and who can provide support. So I think that that's the main role that IATEFL volunteers and trustees have on Monday, the PCE day, and then on Tuesday, the first conference day. So everyone will probably see all of the trustees there trying to, help out. There will be probably a lot of shouting, go left, go right, etc. But it's a lot of fun, because you get to talk to people when you are queuing at the registration. I know that I usually kind of meet a lot of friends, or even make some new friends, people that I know through social media, and all of a sudden we're face to face. So it's nice to kind of do that while you're trying to put some order in that queue. So yeah, okay, don't worry, don't stress because of the registration. I'm sure that everything will go smoothly, because there will be a lot of support for our conference delegates.
Amazing. Chris, what do you think? What would you suggest?
Well, just sliding the arrival thing a little bit back to actually arriving at the airport or at the station. I mean, if you're flying into Edinburgh Airport, the best way to get around is the tram or the bus. And don't bother with taxis and things. But the tram and the bus will both take you into basically they run it into the centre of town and out the other side. So wherever you're staying in town, there's likely to be a tram stop within 10-15 minutes walk of where you're staying, and equally a bus stop. The tram and the bus take the same amount of time. The bus gets caught in traffic a bit, but there's not much in it. Time-wise, you can use a contactless card. You don't need to buy a ticket before. None of that's necessary. Don't waste your money on taxis. You really don't need them. And equally, getting around, the closest main station to the venue is Haymarket Station. It's a little bit confusing because there are two stations in Edinburgh. There's Waverley Station, which everyone in Edinburgh calls Edinburgh Station. It's actually named after a Walter Scott novel, but you all knew that. And there's also Haymarket, which is actually the closest one. But the thing about Edinburgh is the railway line runs through what was a river valley. So it's very, very easy to get around. So, but if you're coming in from the airport, jump on the tram, jump in the bus, place for your bags, and it will get you in very quickly. And it's fast, 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And John, now,
Yeah.
Nikki and I were running around helping delegates last year. So we had, a lot of people coming to us asking, how can we go to the PCEs? Where is that venue? So on the first day upon arrival,
Okay.
how can people find their way around?
Right, I'm going to give everybody the secrets of the conference now. So the queuing that we're all talking about, obviously there are lots of people coming, which is fantastic. And there really is only a short period just before the first plenary when the queuing is really intense. So my first tip or advice is to pick up your badge beforehand if you can. And there are 2 times you can do that. If you're arriving on the Monday, then the registration is open throughout the day through until 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, if you're attending a pre-conference event, obviously you need to go to registration from 8 o'clock on Monday morning to pick up your badge. After the pre-conference event starts, so after about 10 o'clock in the morning, then if you're attending the main conference, then you can come in at any time on the Monday and pick up your badge and your delegate bag and your program calmly and avoid all the rush. The same applies actually on the Tuesday morning. We'll be open a little bit earlier at 7:30. So if you wanted to pop in and say hello to me, I'll be looking a little bleary-eyed and I'll have a cup of coffee, I'm sure, but pick up your stuff and then wander off and have a coffee. There is a barista actually in the registration area, so you can have a little coffee or a walk outside and then come back and have a look at the queues as you wander past with your delegate badge. So I think if you can get there in advance, either earlier in the morning or the day before, then that avoids all of the queuing. And you will need to register in order to get a badge that looks like this. And just to show everybody, you won't be able to enter any of the academic sessions without one of these, and it just shows you if you're attending a pre-conference event and the days of the conference that you will be attending. So this is the thing you need. Really important to keep it with you at all times because you do need it to get into the conference venue each day and also in the evenings because we've got social program events going on. So don't lose your badge.
And now, Nikki, we've been through a lot during the conference, especially on the first day.
Yeah.
What would be your tip?
Just obviously bring your smile and bring maybe a little bit of patience because everyone's trying as hard as they can. But sometimes, it might take a little bit of time. But use the opportunity to say hi to people and to network. Everyone is in such a good mood and ready to make friends. No one's closed off at that point. So it's a really lovely opportunity. But George, I have a question for you. Do we need to bring anything, like any paperwork or anything in order to register, or is it enough just to give our name?
John?
I'm going to answer that. Hopefully, okay. So there are going to be 2 queues at the registration. One is for people who are registering on the day and paying on the day. If you haven't booked online, don't worry, it's not too late. You can come along and you can pay on the day and enjoy a single day, multiple days, or the whole conference. If you have registered online, and of course the majority of people have, then you will have received, I think yesterday, an email from us. And if you can just have your phone open with that email on it, at the top of it, we have included your name and your ID number. And those 2 bits of information are the key bits we need. We put them into the computer and out comes your badge. So if you can have your phone ready with that email open, that would be fantastic and just speeds things up.
Amazing. And of course, now let's go to the important category, which is... This is a difficult one, isn't it? Now, a little bit of backstage information. Nikki, Anka, and I have been talking about our live shows in Edinburgh, and we are also trying to find some time for the sessions that we would like to attend. But it's so difficult to choose sessions, isn't it, Nikki?
It really is. I mean, I've never seen a program quite like it because you just want to see everything. You really do. And knowing how to navigate it at first sight can be really, really overwhelming. So what I do is I'll choose a strand that I'm interested in. So if I want to know a bit more about teacher training, which is what I'm going for this year, then I'm going to look for those sessions, and that helps to narrow it down a bit. But otherwise, I'd watch everything.
Alex, what would be your tip?
Well, to be honest, I really, really love that we have the conference app this year, because it makes things so much easier, because I can just, quickly search for a topic that I'm interested in, and it gives me all the sessions connected to that topic. And then I just, star all the talks that I want to attend, and it's all of these talks are in my agenda. Now, the issue with that is that I want to see, for example, and hear all the sessions that are at the same time in one slot. So that means that I again have to narrow it down. But to be honest, because of everything happening at the conference during the week, I don't really have a lot of time to attend sessions. But this year I'm a little bit better organized. So I've already selected the sessions that I can actually attend, and I definitely plan to be there. So as I said, if you haven't downloaded the app yet, do it, because it's so helpful. Because as I said, it gives you that search option, and you can just create your own agenda before you come to Edinburgh on Monday or whenever you're arriving there. So use the app.
Chris, would you agree?
I would, and I think the thing I'd say is, before I got involved, in IATEFL as I am now, and as Alex said, we don't get much time because we're always running around doing other things. But my technique before, when choosing sessions, was to go out the box a little bit and go to stuff that's absolutely new to me, because that IATEFL was a unique chance to do anything. Well, I don't know much about that. I'll go and see her speaking. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. I'll go and see them, because it's a chance to do that all under one roof. Consolidating what you know already is important, but for me, and also geographically, we have speakers from all parts of the world talking about their own context face to face, and there is such a variety of content, and you can actually eyeball them afterwards and say, oh, you said that's really interesting, I didn't know that. You can talk to them afterwards. So I think go out your comfort zone is really important. I mean, I'm not suggesting it's uncomfortable, but a lot of stuff that you might not get at home, you'll be getting in Edinburgh next week if you look for it. I mean, lots and lots of stuff that's new to you. So I'd go for that.
Now, John, we've mentioned the app. Can you give us some information about the app?
Yes, hopefully. Again, all delegates who have registered will have received an email about it. It's similar to many event apps, where first of all you download what they call a shell app. So where we have a shell called conf.app, and that you can download for your phone, whether you have an Apple or an Android phone, and then you will just need to, at the bottom it says scan the QR code, and you can get the program or the app for the IATEFL conference, and you can get that QR code. Again, delegates will have received that in an email. It will also be all right around the venue, so very easy to do. And as everybody has said, it's a useful way of just identifying particular themes, slots. The other thing I would say is, if you've been looking at the digital program, which we've made available, and the app, these have the abstracts. Whereas when you have the printed program, that has the information about the sessions, the speakers, the time, the location, but it doesn't have the abstracts. We do that again for sustainability reasons, and for delegates not to carry around an incredibly heavy program. It's already 100 pages or so. So it should harmonize well. Not everybody will want to take the printed program, which is great. If you can survive or feel more comfortable just using the app, that's absolutely brilliant, and we would thoroughly encourage that. But they should harmonize and support each other. So yeah, it should be fairly easy to download. It doesn't take a lot of space on your phone, and you can remove it afterwards. And as Alex has rightly said, it's searchable either by the speaker that you are interested in seeing, or by a particular session or a particular area of interest that you may have. So yeah, it's finding it in that way. If you look at the app in terms of how it's presented, you can click on the 4 days, and then it just runs through the hours of the day. It is a long list because, of course, as we've all said, we have got lots and lots and lots of sessions, over 500 sessions. So using the search function is essential, I would say.
And of course, apart from the sessions, we also have the exhibition.
Absolutely.
So, John, can you give us some insights about the exhibition?
Yeah. Just as Chris said, go and see something new. Well, the exhibition is also that place to go and see something new. We've got just under 50 exhibitors, and they will be sharing their new publications, their new online platforms, their new offerings in terms of course provision, jobs. There are all sorts of things in the exhibition. So it is a really good opportunity to go around, visit the stands, speak to the exhibitors, and find out what's new. Have a look at that new course book that's just come out. Have a look at that platform that might support your lessons online. Have a look at that company that is offering, or the course provider that's offering a CPD course that you're interested in terms of developing your career. It's a fantastic way of just getting up to date with all that's new in the profession.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, what do you enjoy the most about the exhibition?
Actually, catching up with friends, which is probably not the right thing to say, but it's a great way to meet people. But I mean, seriously, I think, someone who's worked in publishing, they actually want to hear what you say. Publishers, exam people, what would you like? One thing is what they're doing, but it's a great opportunity to engage and say, well, actually, in my situation, this would be really good, or that doesn't work, or whatever it is you want to say. It's a great opportunity to give them feedback, I think, and actually engage with people, and a unique opportunity, because John says there's whatever 50 of them under one roof, whether they're CPD people, exams people, publishers, whatever they are, they're all there. So and it engage with them, I think, absolutely engage and find out stuff that's down the pipeline, what's coming in 3 years, because the stuff takes a while to come out. So I think that's the best bit. I mean, meeting friends is the best bit, but the second best bit is engaging with people about what you want, what you need in your schools or wherever you work.
And Alex, are you the kind of delegate that would socialize around the exhibition and talk to exhibitors, or are you the kind of delegate that would just browse, have a think, take notes?
Well, for me, the exhibition is a place where I can also be alone, with all those people around me, meaning that, I go around the stands, I take notes, I take photos of things, for example, but also it's a chance to talk to ELT professionals, publishers, teacher training providers, etc. So as I said, it's a place to be alone, but also to be with others. And I think it's a great professional development opportunity. Not many people actually see it as such, but I think it's wonderful to just walk around, talk to delegates from different parts of the world, talk to the exhibitors, find out what's happening at the moment in the world of ELT, or as Chris mentioned, what's coming up. So I think it's a really good place for your professional development. You can actually learn a lot just by going to the exhibition. And of course, it's an opportunity to have a cup of coffee or tea and just relax a little bit, maybe grab a snack or something like that.
Of course, for Nikki, Anka, and myself, the exhibition is also our IATEFL studio. It's our home for the next 5 days, isn't it, Nikki?
It is, absolutely. This is where we go hunting for people as well, isn't it, Georgia? We go running around. looking for anyone that wants to talk to us. So yeah, be warned. But that was actually really nice because as everyone said, you get to talk to so many people and publishers, and also you get to kind of collect a lot of, is it swag? Is that the right word? Or merch? The kind of, the stuff that the companies are going to give you. So you can get a lot of amazing free stuff too. So I find that quite exciting.
I think, of course, that the key word here is networking and the IATEFL community. So, Alex, this is one of the most important aspects on the conference. Would you agree?
Yes, Georgia, absolutely. As I said, just by queuing at the registration, that's where you network. That's where you talk to people, people that it's your first time seeing them there in that queue, and then you see friends and there is a lot of waving and shouting and hugging. So I think that queue is a perfect place to start the conference and your networking. And of course, throughout the week, there's so many other networking opportunities, like we have our IATEFL stand where you go for those meetups, for different groups of ELT professionals. Then, of course, as I've already mentioned, there's plenty of coffee or tea, and that's something that connects people, right? Okay, just chatting, having something to drink or eat. So I think these conferences, such as the IATEFL Annual Conference, they're perfect for networking, for making friends, even starting maybe working on new projects together. So I think this is something that we all need to take advantage of, meet as many people as possible, and contribute to the overall growth of not just IATEFL as an association, but to the overall growth of our wonderful ELT profession. So that's what networking is for me. It's about growth and development.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, what would networking mean for you?
You see, I think teaching's quite a lonely job in an odd sort of way, because you're in a class with a bunch of students for hours in a day, and you see your colleagues and maybe the staff and whatever. The great thing about IATEFL is you can meet complete strangers who have exactly the same concerns about their classes that you do. You may live in Brazil, but the person you meet lives in Norway, for example. And suddenly you're able to just share notes, share ideas, and realize you're not alone. You're not the only person that has that problem. And I think that's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
So
John?
That I think is a big thing.
I just want to follow on from what Chris has said. He's absolutely right. And I had a quick check, and we are going to be, as a community together, over 100 different nationalities at the IATEFL conference this year. So it is a fantastic opportunity to share experiences, challenges, problems, and ideas with people doing exactly the same role as you, or very similar role in a different context. If I can just for 2 seconds, Alex rightly mentioned the IATEFL stand, which is actually right next to the registration desk this year. So right near the entrance, the IATEFL stand in break times is a great place to go for one of our meetups. And these are so useful. I really would strongly recommend, if you do work in a particular sector of our profession, go to the meetup that applies to you, and you will have the opportunity to meet others in the same role. And I can hear you saying, but nobody does what I do. But I'm going to quickly read it. They're always in the breaks, but there is a meetup for first-time delegates. For those people thinking, I don't know anybody, and I was there and I completely understand that. It's a great way to meet up with others in the same boat as you. But there are also meetups for freelancers, for managers, directors, and academic leaders, for one-to-one and online teachers, for primary school and secondary school teachers, for materials writers, proofreaders, editors, and publishers, for teacher educators or teacher trainers, for university and college lecturers, and also for national teaching associations. So have a look at the schedule in the program and say, oh yeah, that's the one for me. Go along. It's a great opportunity to just build your network.
Brilliant. And I would just say that networking for me means all of the people who volunteer their time for IATEFL. And of course, this is where we meet each other. So this is where Nick and I met, and we met Anka later. We also met Sean, who is looking forward to causing a little bit of trouble as far as I can see.
Nothing new there.
No.
So it is truly a wonderful way to spend 5 days at the conference with people that we see online, and then suddenly we hear at the conference a lot the, oh, I know you, oh, I have seen you online, oh, I've attended your session, oh, I remember you. So there's a lot of that coming as well. So it is just wonderful. Excellent. And of course, apart from networking, we have got at the conference the social program. Now, the social program, my goodness, John, what have you got for us this year for the social program?
A frightening array. It starts, I'm afraid, with dancing, which worries me, I have to say. But a traditional Scottish dance is known as a ceilidh. And we're going to start the whole conference with a welcome ceilidh, where there will be a band, and one of the band members is going to give instructions, which is a good job, and explain the dances. It should be really good fun and a great way to start the week. The other one which I wanted to particularly highlight was on the first day, on the Tuesday in the evening. There's a talk about Edinburgh. If it's your first time in Edinburgh, it's a great opportunity just for an hour to get a feel for the history, the geography, what to visit, what to see in the city. And the people doing that talk will also, you'll have the opportunity, if you wish to do a walking tour of Edinburgh later in the week with the same people. So if it's your first time in Edinburgh, perhaps that's the one to go for. But yes, there's something every night. Frighteningly.
Mm-hmm. Alex, have you checked any activities in the program that you are really interested in going?
Okay, well, since I'm the conference committee chair, I kind of have to be there for all of our social events. I might skip some, depending on how much energy I have at the end of the day. But I'm really looking forward to our sharing stories event on Tuesday evening. Then we have our dynamic debates. We have our famous international quiz, and we also have the second edition of the IATEFL lip sync battle. It was so much fun last year. So we do have quite a bit of registrations, and I'm very happy about that. And I think that we have everything that we need to make the delegates feel energized at the end of the day. And we must not forget that we are introducing again the music night. And that is something that our conference delegates can register for so they can perform. I won't be there, that's for sure, because performance is not what I do. I don't want people to start leaving immediately when I start singing or whatever. So we have a lot of social events, let's say, because we really want the conference delegates to not only learn, but also to have fun.
Mm-hmm. Chris, what about you?
I like watching the quiz, not taking part. It's something of a spectator. I have to say, there's a lot of people do have mobile phones attached to their knees under the table sometimes. There's something going on there. It's awful.
Teachers as well.
Yes, teachers as well, and people change groups. I think we're obviously going to lose. I'll go to that one. But the point about the quiz is it's fun. That's the thing. It's great fun. And if there's a little bit of funny stuff going on with Google, then so what? Who cares? It's not competitive in that sense. It's just fun. And it's really nice to see people who've been in, 7 or 8 workshops or sessions in a day, just letting their hair down, basically. Generally behaving quite well, not always, but it's fun. And I think people need to remember all the social events are fun. I'm doing the debates thing as well. People always very serious. No, it's not serious. It's a 5-minute session, 2 people. It's fun. Treat it as fun.
I can testify to that. It's not serious at all. Last year, we did have a debate with our IATEFL trustee, Maria, and it was all technology versus new technology in class. It was hilarious. And the rest of the debates were really, really fun to watch.
It's just
It was
fun, basically.
Yeah. Now, John, I do have a question from you from Chris from the comments, who's asking, can spouses attend the session about Edinburgh?
Unfortunately, probably not. The reason for that, well, there's a couple of them. First of all, you're really going to need a delegate badge to get into the venue. And also, we do limit it. We try to, it's a popular session, so a lot of paying delegates will want to attend. So we try to just focus it on people who are there as delegates, unfortunately. May I actually just take this that opportunity to also add, this is a theme each year, which is important to get across, unfortunately, that this is a professional event for adults. So unfortunately, we're not able to welcome children accompanying their parents into the event. We're simply not set up or insured for that. So it really is just for the delegates. If your partner or spouse is coming with you and wishes to observe you, watch you actually present your special, that's possible. And there is a particular badge which you can get just for a single session badge, just for that particular purpose. But we do keep the social events, because they are restricted in capacity, just for delegates, I'm afraid. So sorry.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I mean, sounds fair. Now, of course, speaking of Edinburgh, a lot of the delegates are coming to Edinburgh for the first time, myself included as well. So now let's talk about what to do in Edinburgh. Chris, let's start with you.
Expert, yeah?
Yes.
Here we go. So Edinburgh, if you look at it from the sky, it's like two towns really, with a railway line dividing them, and where Haymarket Station and Waverley Station are. To the south is the Old Town, which is old. If you walk around the Old Town, it's where the tourists go. It's where the castle is. It's where all the best medieval architecture is. Usually you say to people to go to Newtown, look up. Yeah, look up in Edinburgh, look down too, because it's on two levels. Where the poor people lived is down there, over the bridge. And you'll see, actually, when you're walking around, whoa, there's a street down there. And those streets are still there. They're still used. So it's actually a two-level city. A lot of people miss that. The other side of the railway line is the New Town, which is old, but not as old as the Old Town, if you see what I mean. The New Town is essentially Georgian. It was built in the kind of 1700 to 1830 period. It has some beautiful neoclassical squares. If you could picture maybe somewhere like Bath in the UK, it's like that, only much better. It's absolutely glorious to walk around there and gets very few tourists. It's the quieter part of town. And it's where the best gallery is in London. In Edinburgh, which is the Scottish National Portrait Gallery, which is absolutely amazing. It's stunning. So I definitely recommend going there. Also, there's a place called Dean Village, which is just slightly north of the New Town. Dean Village is Instagram central. It's absolutely gorgeous, very atmospheric. But if you arrive after 9 o'clock in the morning, you can't move for phones. So if you really want to see Dean Village, go early morning. And the other place I'd recommend, it's on the end of the tram, is a place called Leith. Leith is the old port. It's still a little bit edgy. You know, it's not completely gentrified yet, but it's got immense character. And some of the best restaurants in Edinburgh are down there. The water is there. And if you want to, you can walk from Leith right round to Portobello, which is where the beach is, where George is going to be swimming every day. You can follow the water. Yeah. So don't just think it's the famous Royal Mile, because that's the touristy bit. There are lots, and go there, of course, but spread out a bit. The tram will take you down to Leith in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
All right. So, Nikki, what about you? Have you been to Edinburgh before?
Oh, I went once, years and years and years ago. Actually, 25 years ago, I saw the Millennium in Edinburgh. It's an absolutely fantastic town, as I remember, but I haven't been for so long that it's going to be like new for me. So I'm looking forward to it. But we're going to go antiquing, aren't we, Georgia?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many things that we can do. Swimming, antiquing. Also, we're going book shopping with Anka.
Yes, book shopping. Yes.
So there's so many.
I'll say one word about book shopping. Sorry, that word is toppings. Toppings bookshop. Toppings is the best bookshop in the world.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
going
I
to
need
also
come back
quickly
and
add
walk.
in that we have a bookshop in the exhibition as well. So don't forget, if you're looking specifically at
ELT
books
books.
related to English language teaching, then the exhibition's the place to go. But if you're looking for those other things, then Chris's recommendation
Toppings
sounds
is
great.
absolutely astonishing bookshop. Yeah, it's easy to find. Everybody knows Toppings.
Brilliant. Alex, what about you? Have you ever been to Edinburgh before?
Unfortunately, no. I've been to Glasgow several times and I absolutely love Glasgow. So I'm really looking forward to falling in love with Edinburgh as well. So yeah, all of this coming from Chris, where to go, what to do, sounds great. I just hope that I find the time to do that. So yeah, I've heard a lot of things about Edinburgh, how beautiful it is, that there are so many things to do and see. I'm afraid that I won't be going book shopping because I have imposed a book shopping ban on myself because I don't have that many suitcases, to take back with me. So yeah, this is something that I always do, like I buy so many books and I need to figure out a way to kind of bring them back home. And it's not easy, when you don't have any space left. But that's what the conference bags are for. You put a lot of books in that, and then you can take that bag with you on the plane. So yeah, maybe this year I'll lift the ban on book shopping and might buy a couple of books. Yeah, but
Alex,
as I
please
said, I'm
join
really
us.
looking forward to Edinburgh.
Brilliant. Excellent. John, any tips about Edinburgh before we move on to our next category?
No, I think actually the best tip I have, well, there are two. One is if you have a question, find Chris and speak to him. He knows what he's talking about far more than I do. I've actually only been to Edinburgh twice myself. Once was actually a planning trip for this conference. And before that, many, many, many years ago, I accompanied a group of Brazilian language learners on a coach, and we did the whole of Scotland in a weekend. And I vaguely remember going to Edinburgh for about 20 minutes as part of that, but it was a fairly limited experience for me. Fantastic weekend though. So no, I think there will also be, so when you arrive in the venue and you see our registration desk in front of you, look behind you, and by the doors there's also an information desk which is manned by people from the conference centre and from Visit Edinburgh. So any questions about Edinburgh, go straight to that desk. They'll have the answer for you. That's a really good piece of advice, I would say.
Amazing.
Can I say one other thing? Sorry, if we're all on a budget for food, the cheaper food is to the south because it's the student area where most students live. I mean, the UK is fairly expensive for restaurants sometimes. If you go down there, there's a massive range of restaurants and it's a lot cheaper. So just head 2 or 3 blocks south of the venue, for example, and you'll find the student area, and there's good food we're all on budgets, which is a little bit cheaper.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Chris. And then let's talk about a very important category, which is your well-being during the conference. Now, Alex, as the IATEFL president, you have spoken to many people, many delegates, many exhibitors. And how can we protect ourselves from all of this networking, all of these busy days? What would be your number one tip?
Well, for me, it's important to find some quiet time during the day. Find a place where you can sit, relax for a bit, somewhere that is not too crowded, have some water, refresh yourself, some snacks. Some people like to meditate during the conference, and I think that's a wonderful idea. I don't know how to do that, but I think it's a great idea if you can. So I think it's just important to find some time to breathe and be in a quiet place because it can get overwhelming. So that's why it's very important to think about that as well. Find some time to, for some downtime, some quiet time.
Chris, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, that's what Alex says. I kind of listen to your body thing. I think sometimes when you're you planned out, I'm going to see this session, this session, this session, this session. There's a certain point when you might need to say to yourself, actually, I'm not going to go to that session because I need some time out. And you'll get more from the later ones that day or the next day. If you burn out on day 2, then it's pointless. It really is. So just, you might think, that's really interesting, but actually, I'm just going to sit outside, grab a cup of coffee, have a coffee, and then go into the next one. Some kind of dog in there somewhere.
Sorry, my colleague sneezed.
Not a dog. But I think do listen to yourself and think, I need some time out. Don't go to that session and then go to one afterwards, and it will clear it away. And as Alex says, find a quiet corner. I personally like to leave the venue sometimes, get some air, because these places are kind of hermetically sealed, aren't they? So walk around. Lots of little parks and gardens in Edinburgh where you can just sit for a few minutes and become human again, and then go back in for more.
Now, Nikki, we will be working loads at the conference in the studio. That would be our home. So what would be your tip?
Oh gosh, I think it's very tempting to try and do everything, but exactly as Chris and Alex have said, it's not going to happen. And don't push yourself, and make sure that you have your breakfast, come in. I mean, obviously there will be food and everything at the venue, but maybe if you're on a budget or if you don't have the time because you want to see things, just make sure that you're hydrated. And also, I prioritize sleep if you can as well, just to stop the burnout, because it's super easy to get tired from all the excitement and everything that's happening. So just be aware.
And John, I know that there are some well-being opportunities during the conference. What are those?
Let me tell you about those. So first of all, every day of the conference, there is a mindfulness session to start the day, and an opportunity for you to sit down with an instructor who will and it's not sort of aerobics or anything like that. It's just an opportunity to sit down and to focus yourself and your mind. So that's a nice way to start the day. I can see in the chat that Elizabeth has asked if there is a quiet room at the venue. Yes, well, there's actually a prayer room, as we call it, which is a quiet space for anybody to be able to use just to have some quiet reflection and a break. So yes, there is that there. I would agree with Chris. I think if you can get out of the venue just for 5 minutes and get some fresh air, that's always a nice thing to do. And if you're feeling stressed and overloaded, then obviously the best thing to do is to go to the exhibition and stand next to the live stream area and then just cause trouble and heckle and enjoy the chaos that is the live stream at conference. I think that will boost your spirits see Georgia and Nikki and Anka in action. It's really good fun.
My technique, John, is to unplug a few cables. They really like it when you do that. They love it. They love it. It's just they pretend to be grumpy, but they love it really.
Oh, how fun! No, but
you wait.
No, but this is very, very true. What I would say is that please do come and visit us at the studio. We are a nice gang of people, and it's always nice to meet people. And quite interestingly, a lot of people, when they walk around the venue, the exhibition hall as well, they just look at the studio and they just come to watch the shows. And this is a fantastic white noise.
Yeah.
It just takes your mind
really
off.
Interesting. To see that you are actually both real people, I think, is very important. Yeah.
Now, what I would suggest is that because, of course, at the conference, we don't only have the delegates, but we have got delegates who present at the session. My advice is that if you are a presenter, just make sure on the day that you're presenting, just relax, go to the session before you, have a look at the room, attend the previous session before yours, and then just make sure that you enjoy it as well, because the IATEFL community is very supportive, and this is the vibe that you will get as well. And of course, if you're a first-time speaker, just try to enjoy it. If you're too stressed about it, again, I know that this is probably not something, it's not reinventing the wheel, really, what I'm going to say, but just do not stress about it, because the IATEFL community is very supportive. There are people who will be there for the first time presenting. So just share your presentation with someone else. Share it with us. Come to the IATEFL studio as well if you're really, really stressed about it, and we can give you some advice too. So just enjoy the conference.
I just
George,
add on,
can
John.
Yeah, no, you go, Chris. You probably know more than I do about.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I've been doing conference presentations for hundreds of years, it feels, somehow. And if it's any help to anyone, I get very nervous before everyone I do. It's perfectly normal. It is, in a sense, perhaps if you're not nervous, you're not doing it right. I really think that's very important. If your nerves get to a really high point, sit next to a stranger and say, I'm on next. Can you look at this? Can you look at my notes? Or do you know anything about this? Stress has gone. I think that's really, really important. But I get nervous. And I know a lot of my colleagues who do a lot of big presentations as well, exactly the same story. So it's normal, perfectly normal.
I'm just going to add in one practical aspect, which is if you have a PowerPoint presentation, have it on a USB stick ready with you. And I always say, have 2 USB sticks, just in case you don't have that terrible moment of, where is it? What have I done with it? If you have a backup, then you can relax. So, and then you just be able to plug it in and get going, and that's reassuring.
Brilliant. And now, just before we end this pre-conference show, let's talk about some final tips. Now, whatever is in your mind, what would you say to the delegates before they travel, or to the people who might not be joining us face to face, but online in the conference, in the digital live coverage of the conference? So, John, let's start with you. What would your advice be?
I'd say, so one of the things which I think is overwhelming, and I think we've said that quite a lot, but if you can just take a moment at the end of each day and maybe just write down, take a few notes of some key takeaways that you've got that you want to actually put into your own teaching. So just scribble down some notes, and then I think you'll find when you get back home, it's an aid memoir, a trigger that you're going to take with you, because you'll take lots of screenshots, I'm sure, and lots of detailed notes, but just each day, a couple of just sort of key takeaways, I think is a really useful, valuable way to summarize the day for yourself.
Absolutely. Nikki, what about you?
Don't be afraid to talk to everybody. As you said, it's a really friendly environment. Nobody is going to think you're weird if you say hi. And you might end up meeting your best friend or future partner or future professional.
Steady.
I know.
I am not
a
dating agency. Steady on.
You never know. But yeah, it's a very, very open community. So I would absolutely just go in with a complete open mind and talk to everyone, and you'll have the best time.
Brilliant. Chris, what about you? What would be your final tip?
Well, actually, it'll be what John said. I think we forget sometimes, or I forget, we all forget that IATEFL is CPD.
Yeah.
It's a massive amount of CPD coming to get you. But I think what John says, I mean, if you were going to a one-off CPD session in your school, you would at the end make reflections, make notes, say to a colleague, what did you think of that? I didn't understand that bit. We tend not to do that because it's just a talk. It's not. It's CPD. So absolutely, a little bit of reflection, or it could be saying to the stranger next to you, "What did you think of that bit? I didn't understand that. Oh, I know what you mean. Yes, I've got it." It's so valuable. Otherwise, it's gone. It just drifts away. So yeah, it's CPD. Treat it as a series of development sessions rather than a series of. It feels like an onslaught of it, of course, but I think that's really important.
I absolutely agree with that, Chris. For me, as a delegate myself, when I go and attend sessions, if I don't write something down, then it's gone. And what I'm left with is just a beautiful feeling of, oh, that was a fantastic session. But then I am desperately trying to remember what was said, what happened. And that is a kind of regret that I'm having, like, oh, why didn't I write that? Why didn't I connect with that person? So yes, you do get a feeling of conference guilt that I call. Yes, because you miss out on opportunities because you didn't write things down, or because you set very, very, very high expectations and you missed out on other things. So just take it easy and just take one thing at a time. Just try to enjoy the conference as much as you can, and that's it, really. Excellent.
The only other thing I would just add personally is it's a state of mind as well. I always like to think this isn't an IATEFL conference. It's your conference. It's our profession's conference. It's your opportunity to sort of engage with people. This is your community. This is your conference. Enjoy it. Make the most of it, because what comes out of the conference really takes our profession forward, and it's an amazing thing to be part of that.
And also, John, saying that it's the delegates' conference because they can choose what to go to. We put the food on the table. Individual people decide what they want to eat. It's a menu, so there's probably everybody at the conference will have a slightly different kind of path through it, which is how it should be. So it's up to you. Up to you. We put the stuff on the table. You decide what you want to eat. There we are.
That's very good.
Write that one down, George. Write that one down.
Oh, I'm going to steal that quote. Thank you very much.
Copyright C. Graham 2025. Thank you very much.
Now, Nikki, what I would like from you is a final tip for the people watching us from home, because we will be broadcasting live every single day from Tuesday to Friday, from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock UK time. And on Friday, we will be broadcasting from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning. So what would be your final tip for the people watching us from home?
Well, let me just ask you this. Where can people find us, Georgia? How can they connect if they decide, oh, I want to have a look what's going on?
That's a very good question, Nikki. So we will be broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And every day you will be having the promo for each of the days live event the following day. So you will have all of the information there as well.
And well, absolutely. If you know where it is and you have the time, tune in, because we'll show you people that you might not otherwise get to listen to if you're not at the conference. And it's super interesting. And there's an array of topics and speakers, and something for everyone. So tune in. You don't have to be religiously watching us. You can have us on in the background and something might grab your attention, but I think it's worth it. It's a lovely way to find out more about the conference without actually being there.
And another thing just to add in is our hashtag, which is a hashtag of IATEFL 2025. And somebody said on social media this morning something which is absolutely right. If you aren't able to attend, obviously join the live stream, but just follow that hashtag, because you will find lots and lots of ELT professionals who are at the conference, who are posting on social media about a session they're in and what is the key takeaway from that. So you can really actually benefit without being there by just following on social media some of the fantastic bloggers and social media posters who will be in attendance at the event.
Absolutely. And let's not forget that the plenary sessions will be broadcasted later that same day of their actual day of presentation. So, for example, Tuesday's plenary session will be broadcasted. The recording will be broadcasted at 6 o'clock in the afternoon UK time again, but all of this will be on social media. So all of the promotions are going to be on social media. So please watch this space on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. All right. So I think that's it from us, really. What do you think? Anything else that you would like to say to our delegates or audience?
Yes. Safe journey, everybody.
Yeah. Happy travels.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, you must eat a deep fried Mars bar while you're in Scotland. The national dish. I mean, if you have any kind of coronary conditions, not recommended, but it is much nicer than it sounds. And if you're a meat eater, have some haggis. They're hard to catch. So if you can catch one, They are very nice to eat. But I'm serious about the deep fried Mars bar. And because it's relatively close to the Easter Festival in the UK, you'll also find deep fried cream eggs. And they are quite something. It looks like John won't be having some. Georgia has perked up.
Chris, after my swimming sessions with our plenary speakers, we will be going for a deep fried Mars bar.
I'll be waiting for you on the pebbles, clutching them for you.
Oh, lovely. So that's it from us, everybody, for this special pre-conference edition of IATEFL Live. We hope that you find this episode useful and inspiring as well. Now, where you're in Edinburgh for the sessions, the socials, or whether you're watching us from home, remember, the conference is what you make it. And of course, as we said before, come say hi at the IATEFL studio. We would love to meet you in person and, of course, to hear more about your time at the IATEFL conference. Until then, take care, travel safe, and see you very, very soon in Edinburgh. Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.